Revolver. Are there other promotions that you're trying to maybe either partner up with or maybe do shows with as well, so that, like you said, more wrestlers can get that spotlight and get the payday?
Um, any.
Okay.
Any. Because at one point in the last year, I counted 30 wrestling shows running within a 30-mile radius of each other. And I was like, you guys are dumb. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that like to whoever's listening, like you shouldn't follow your goal and your dream, but if you're looking at using the same talent, but you can't book them because the guy down the road's got them, look into it a little bit deeper. Maybe you should talk to that guy.
Right.
Maybe you guys should invest money and get a bigger building to where you can house a larger crowd.
Yeah.
Because I'm running it weekly. It happens whether I'm there or not.
Right.
and I have to fight them not to run on Christmas. And they still run. They veto me, the Pruitts, like, no, we're running on Christmas, and people show up. It sells out. And I was like, this is silly.
In Texas, we kind of do have a tradition, I think in the South as well, that Texas, or not Texas, but the Christmas shows do pull people
They
still.
do.
I don't get it too either.
Yeah,
but
they do, and it's great.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking that. I'm not
mean,
saying
movie
like,
theaters are
stupid
also
not to
packed
run,
all the time,
but
too, so.
it's silly that so many shows, and once again, it's pride.
Yeah.
I am the one that's going to save wrestling. I'm the one that's going to do it. And then I'm kind of over here going, have any of you taken a bump?
There's that.
Have you actually done the part that the human Hasbro figure part?
Right.
And then not a lot have.
Right.
And then you talk to them a little bit, and a lot of them see the reason and going like, do you understand? Like, why have these guys all wrestle in different areas where Joe Blow here turned them heel and Steve over here made them a tag team? And this guy, they're all within an hour of each other.
Yeah.
And they're all doing gimmicks because you think you have this genius idea, when in reality, just let the wrestler be themselves.
Right.
Which is what Callahan taught me.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I'll put some guys in a faction should they choose or they do this, but for the most part, they are their own character. They have to go to the next town.
Yep.
Why would I change that?
And then now we're in a world where something does happen here, but people are going to see it due to social media or however else they're going to consume it.
Yeah.
And, every wrestler is going to hopefully promote themselves and wherever they're going.
Palmer,
so they're all going to see everything
was doing
anyway.
misogynistic, anti-women jokes, and then the next town over, I'm a babyface holding puppies. You know what I mean? It just, and then sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
And it's pride. It's pride. And I think these guys, being a capitalist a bit myself, is that we can all work together and actually do less work that we actually really are. We're not thinking about the silly stuff, and we're just promoting and handing out flyers and telling people, hey, Brick Savage wrestling Exodus Prime, and this guy's wrestling this guy. Yeah. They're all great, but now we can pay them 3 times as much because there's 3 times as people in this building.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have to worry about, oh, cool, 200 people, let's...
Yes. I'm at my building, because I see it more of a school, because we run training 3 days a week with Athena, and Saturday is kind of like their lab.
Right.
And they get to work in front of 200 people, 250 max before the fire marshal steps in, right? Yeah. That's silly, isn't it? You're trying to work a live crowd and learn how to manipulate a mob.
The same live
stuff
crowd
like
that comes every week.
Yeah. And that crowd, 800 people tonight, maybe more.
Yeah.
And they were very receptive because that's mob mentality.
Yeah.
If there's no mob, how are you going to learn how to manipulate them? Which is all wrestling is. It's no different than the Coliseum. Win the mob, you win the match.
Yep.
And so it's... Yeah, anyway. So
No,
sorry to go on a tangent, but that's been my main thing I've been focusing on in the last 6 months, and will be probably until I retire.
Good. Well, so with Texas being such a hotbed, and it has for so long, and not that it's not looked at, but I feel like Texas is still a little overlooked. You obviously have the Northeast, and then now we're starting to see more in the Pacific Northwest, Chicago, and everywhere else. Who do you kind of look at when it does come to the Texas scene as for people that could start looking for in the future?
I think you're going to see your Brick Savages, your Exodus Primes. J.D. Griffey is finally going to get his due. The man looks like Will Smith. He's 6'3". He can kill you. He can actually kill you with his training. Forever. He's been wrestling as long as I have, for 18 years. And like I said, he looks like an A-list celebrity. Yeah. Literally looks like Will Smith. Can talk better than him. He's not going to go up and slap Chris Rock. He's a true professional. He can really hurt you if you need to. He doesn't have to. He's a great showman if he wants to be. You got that. You got a guy named Tommy Becker. Tommy Becker, I feel like, is a younger me. It's like he can do a one-take promo. Wow. But he's not the guy that's going to walk around and act like his shit don't stink. He doesn't walk around like Mr. Prideful, I'm the best in the world. Yeah. He just goes out here and does his job. No complaint. perfectly.
Right.
First take, no problem. You want to call it in a ring? No fucking problem. Whatever, man. He's there every time, and he looks like, he acts like what is the Chad from SNL? I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
Hey man, I need you to go out here and do a death match last minute. Somebody canceled. Okay. So, it's sweetheart of a guy. What a professional.
And he's been in NPX for a long time too, right?
He's been wrestling about 10 years now.
Damn, is it 10 years now?
I think
Wow.
10 years now. But he's now starting to get that break.
Yeah.
Because like we were talking about, it's the work. Being a wrestler has been doing it for 18 years now. The work is in the Midwest. It's starting to go back into the Northwest, the Northeast, of course, but tons of commissions and stuff. So the money gets eaten up there.
Yeah.
But like the Midwest is where it's really at. That's where the hotbed. That's where the guys from that Amazing Red era and the Philadelphia guys all kind of traveled down to that Midwest area a bit, and then they get to travel more. But no one comes to Texas.
Right.
So Texas has kind of inherited that. I call it Texas strong style because I don't have any better way of doing it. Whereas a lot of guys, with the advent of MMA and UFC and the popularity, you see a lot of different styles of striking and attacks and things like that. Whereas Texas, there's still a lot of big guys just hitting the piss out of you. And me, I'm a smaller guy, but Moonshine Mantell or any of these guys, they'll tell you, man, you hit harder than anyone else. And I go, yeah, how do you think I feel when you guys hit me?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the way it is. We're going to beat the piss out of you because we're so used to working in intimate atmospheres with the fan 10 feet away from me. Make it look real. That's what our old timers told us.
Yeah.
We weren't told to go for shooters and flips. We were told to pick a motherfucker up and slam him down hard and hit him in the chest real hard, get a good sound.
Yeah.
Have you get a little color, bleed it around, man. Let's share it, So it was different. And I think it's kind of coming back. In a way. It was very popular in the 80s, of course, with Von Erichs.
Right.
And I think it's coming back. Like, watch Revolver. Guys like Macklin.
Yeah.
Macklin can go back in time 40 years and just hang with all the guys who are just punching each other in the face all night.
Yeah, him and Stan Hansen, I'd watch that all day.
All day.
Yeah.
And that's so many guys now. Like, and you have your wonderful wrestlers and guys that can do anything, the aerialists, the strikers. They're all wonderful. I'm not knocking it. But how often do you see a Brick Savage?
Right.
How often do you see a legitimate world champion powerlifter, second generation wrestler, launch a dude in the air with one limb, by one limb, and slam them down, and then just look pretty for the camera?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like that's the talent that's coming out of Texas now. Anyway, more tangents. My apologies.
This is the podcast. That's what I want. We want him all day. No, Brick has been on the show. He's absolutely amazing, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for that guy as well. Because, like you said, world champion powerlifter. The dude still looks amazing.
Yeah, I had someone who holds 11 world records for weightlifting come into the school and talk to me because they're about to train.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Do you know who that is?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, that's such and such."
Yeah.
And they're like, no, okay, in our world, he's famous.
Yeah.
And I go, oh, and they're bodybuilders.
Right.
And it's like, he is something. I was like, no shit.
Yeah.
Well, he's gone. He's going to get signed. He's all right. You know what I mean? So, like, he's got the credentials. Yeah. Brick Savage.
Yeah.
They're the shit.
No, yeah, anybody who hadn't listened to this episode, go back and listen to the Brick Savage episode, obviously. Now, you've touched on it already multiple times, the misogynist character. I want to ask about intergender wrestling, because intergender wrestling is kind of a decisive thing. There's so many people out there that, obviously, some people don't like it for the fact that it's man versus woman, whatever.
Right.
You have those stupid people in the crowd that will cheer it because they want that to happen.
Right.
But then there's the smarter ones in the crowd that see it as art, which is what it is.
Right.
Obviously you enjoy intergender wrestling because you do quite a bit of it. Where do you kind of fall explaining it to other people or...
I used to hate it.
Oh, okay.
I used to hate it. And once again, there's youthful pride. But I didn't like it because for the most part, I always thought, well, what do I get out of it? If I win, some schmuck's going to be like, you beat a girl. If I lose, you got beat by a girl.
Yeah.
She gets everything. Even if she loses, she gets the sympathy, she gets the heat, she gets whatever it is. And I'm just out here with bad terms, like hat in hand.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like... And so I used to hate it. And then the more experienced I got and the more I realized, what are you doing, man? Just entertain these poor guys who got to work 80 hours a week. Right. And they don't, they love it. I go out here and I'm about to cut jokes that would get people canceled.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt, like a stand-up comedian. And I get to be able to be like obviously tongue-in-cheek because my wonderful wife is Athena, I consider the best women's wrestler to have ever lived.
I think that as well.
Yeah, as far as like overall, like if you know anything about wrestling and someone's going to teach you how to be a good wrestler real quick, she's the one.
Yeah.
I don't care what someone's last name is or how good their mic work is. Eventually they got to wrestle literally anyone or everyone at any moment, and she can.
And make not only them look good, but themselves look good coming out of it.
And one of the best matches Revolver has ever had has been Swerve Strickland versus her.
Right.
Intergender. No one gave a shit. We're in the middle of Des Moines, Iowa. Right. You know what I mean? We got farmers galore around us. No one gave a crap.
Yeah.
If you're to the point where you get triggered because a guy hit a girl in a pro wrestling thing, guys, I'm not talking to you guys in character.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you like a normal guy. If all the millionaire actors get to do behind-the-scenes things on all the movies and streaming services and stuff like that, then I can tell you I'm not really hitting her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm laying it in as a professional the way that we are. It's not Cirque du Soleil. It's not whiffed. But, like, I'm hitting them, but I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so you get these people that's like, oh, how dare you. Men shouldn't hit women. I was like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
This is a play.
Right.
You know, Gaston shouldn't be stabbing the beast in the back either, but he did it. You're not going to go to the actor's house and cancel him.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. It's just two performers. We get a reaction from the crowd because of whatever trigger that we cannot control or change about their past, but it's a genuine reaction. That's art.
Yeah.
And like, if you're going to go out there and just clap your hands because the moves are good, that's a certain level of art too.
True.
But if I can walk out knowing full well my life is wonderful because of the hard work of my wife, who's a great wrestler, and make you believe for a second that I am an actually misogynistic, hateful person actually beating the hell out of Vert Vixen and not talking to her about what are the foul things I can say about you in this promo.
Yeah.
You're silly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, thank you for letting me trick you for a second if it's live, but if you're just on social media complaining about it, you kind of miss the point.
Right.
Take a step back, man. Something tells me you watch a lot of Marvel, and if you're upset because Black Widow had to do a Hurricane Rana to somebody or somebody hit her, and it's like, come on, man. Let's get past this finally.
Exactly.
So I'm okay with intergender wrestling.
Good.
Now.
Okay. Me too. I very much enjoy it, and again, it is the art form, and there are so many great matches out there that are intergender. So I look forward to more in the future. Now, as much as this is a physical sport, it's also a mental one as well. Mm-hmm. What kind of mental workouts do you partake in? My bread and butter is remaining calm. I remain calm. That's what I do. Maybe it's the ADD kicking in stressful moments, but like tonight we had a regular fan of mine have a seizure in the front row. That had to remain calm for that. Mm-hmm. I have sound issues constantly. We had an error in the match tonight where the referee had a real bad botch to the point where I was very upset, and we had to go on and continue. Right. Sammy had to make me come back out and do some stuff to said that was shit, let's do something else. Had to make that up on the fly. Right. This is all dancing, is what I tell people. Yeah, I am in pain a lot of times. I am actually getting hit in the head. I'm having to do burpees all night while actually falling on wood and stuff like that, while communicating what's about to happen next without knowing what it is sometimes. I'm making it up as I go. Some people couldn't do that and catch their breath, and I'm over here practically sing-songing it to my opponent while getting hit in the face. Yeah. And I wouldn't even say I'm the best at any of this, but that's a normal day in the office for wrestling. Yes. So mentally, we go through a lot of stuff to remain intense enough to make you believe it, but having the wherewithal to pull back. Because it's not fake intensity. It's not fake emotion we're drawing from to get mad and want to beat somebody up in these powerful moments. These big builds with these true professionals. So you got to feel it. You got to actually draw from some moments to give them a good performance. And I got to make sure I don't follow through with that fist on your teeth. Right. You know what I mean? There's a level of control and emotional control and manipulating a mob around you that it's kind of sad that people don't look at it in the way it is, like how difficult it is. It's looked at kind of like a silly offshoot of some hick demolition derby kind of thing. And I was like, man, if you guys knew how
difficult it was just to call a match in the ring and make you like it,
Yeah.
while controlling my emotions, where I'm getting hit in the face and my knee hurts from